Hey everyone, Vertiv management held a question and answer session with Wall Street analysts from Oppenheimer and Company, and it provided some really key insights that I wanted to share with you in this video. And I like these question and answer sessions with Wall Street analysts for the information they deliver, because these Wall Street analysts, whatever you might think of their price predictions and recommendations, when they have these sessions with company management, they usually ask very insightful questions. They ask questions from an investor perspective that really gets these management teams to reveal insightful information about what's going on inside of the company. So I really like to follow these and deliver and retain as much information as I can. And I wanted to share one with you here in this video.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so the first question in this session is asking about Vertiv Holdings order growth, right? If you've been following the videos I've had on Vertiv, you'll notice that they had huge order growth in the last quarter. 60% growth in orders, a doubling of its AI-related pipeline in the last couple of months, and accelerated movement from projects to pipeline to orders. Really a surge in activity for Vertiv, and of course that's probably why many investors are interested in Vertiv stock, because of its position in the AI industry and its growth prospects going forward. So management's response to the question regarding their orders, and the CEO saying that there's really an acceleration of our pipeline, and goes on to discuss, when do our customers place orders? Usually these large co-location and hyperscalers place an order when they have definitely a site and when they have power, right? Power source to the data center. And when they have those confirmed, then they start, and when they start to think about construction or already in the process of construction, that's when they order from Vertiv. So that gives them confidence, right? They're saying that we know that where our kits, our systems and solutions will be installed, and we have a high level of certainty by the time we get an order. So this makes investors feel a little more confident about that order backlog. Is that order backlog actually going to be fulfilled? Or is there a chance that these orders get canceled? And so that's what really drove that question is, how confident can investors be that this order growth is really going to turn into revenue, or are they going to be canceled? If you've watched my videos on electric vehicles over the last few years, I talked about how those order backlogs that they were reporting were really unreliable because people were canceling those orders in large percentages. So these companies, before they started production, were reporting, look, we have an order of 10,000 units or 100,000 units. We have orders already. And by the time they get to production and by the time they get ready to deliver that car to the customer cancels the order, right? Because it was really, really easy to place that order. And many customers just placed an order without really being serious about making a purchase. So that's what's driving this question here. Is your orders, are they serious? Is it going to turn into revenue? And based on what management just described, it looks like, yeah, by the time these customers order, they're ready to, they're already in the process of building out these data centers. So they really need the liquid cooling solution or whatever product that they're ordering from Vertiv. So these are high confidence orders, right? So the CEO goes on to talk about their involvement early in the construction process, in the build out of the data center. And they like being involved in that process. And the fact that the infrastructure is undergoing massive changes, right? The data center industry is needing huge upgrades and changes to align with the AI use case. And Vertiv has a seat at the table. And the fact that their clients need to, and everyone is operating in the industry that needs to understand what the future will look like in terms of our infrastructure technology. So they have a seat at the table so that the companies that are building out these data centers can understand what Vertiv has to offer today, but also what will Vertiv have 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now. so that they can understand as they're building and creating their plans for the data center, what kind of solution they can expect from Vertiv. And there's a lot of inputs that goes into the data center, right? It's not just NVIDIA GPUs, right? NVIDIA GPUs might be the most popular thing that we're looking at right now in terms of this data center build out, but there are many more moving parts. And so when these companies like Alphabet and Microsoft and Amazon are building out these data centers for their cloud computing networks, they want to know what's available and what's in the pipeline, what's coming 6 months from now, 12 months from now, so they can make their plans accordingly, right? And so they have an opportunity to sit at the table with their customers and share our vision with their future, right? So they can collaborate and work to create these technologies in unison so that it works with the whole system and gets adopted as these companies develop. And so that's been an advantage for Vertiv, having that seat at the table, getting to hear from the companies what they're looking for. And so Vertiv can go back to the drawing board and in its research and development, focus on the things that these hyperscalers are looking for, because those are the big spenders right now. The Amazons, the Microsoft, the Alphabets, and the Oracles of the world. So you want to make sure that your research and development and your product pipeline fits along with that vision. All right, so the next question is regarding getting power, right? We've all heard about these new data centers, and with artificial intelligence, there's a significant increase in power consumption. And so with the build out and the upgrading and the addition of more computing capacity, there's been a difficulty in finding power sources or enough power to support this compute need. And so Vertiv talks about that and saying that the permitting and the power availability is a slowing down factor that could even be higher if that was not there, right? So if there was no limits on the power and power availability and permitting, the growth rate in these AI build-outs would be even faster. Can you imagine that? As fast as the AI industry is growing, if there was sufficient power, that it would be growing at an even faster rate. So the company acknowledging that, but they do not see it as necessarily something that's creating a risk to their backlog. They don't see it as a risk to their backlog because, like the company mentioned earlier, they don't get an order from the customer until the customer has power and a site already secured. So they're not getting orders before power is secured. So their orders already account for the fact that the company that ordered from them got a site approved and got power to the site already. Now, if this wasn't a limiting factor, then its orders would be growing even more. When if there wasn't this limit, this constraint on the industry, then Vertiv would have an even larger backlog. So the existing backlog is not at risk, but if there was to be a solution to this constraint, then its orders could grow even more. So really, really interesting insights here from the company management in an industry that's really exciting to see the rate of growth here in artificial intelligence. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.